Hey, so the masses have been asking me, Alex, as a Genshin enjoyer, lover, enthusiast, simp, what are your thoughts on Wuthering Waves? So here I am to give the people what they want. I had a pretty negative view of the game going through its main story. I am finished with the campaign now. I am AR 30 plus, and I've been completely brain rot addicted to this game pretty much since day one, so it's obviously not all negative. Something a little more nuanced is happening here, and I want to talk about it. So I want to start with all the stuff that I like about the game. So we can start with team building. I love team building. I love characters with like roles to play that introduce like synergies with other characters, and I like flexibility with that sort of thing. And this game has tons of that. And just as a quick example of something that I've kind of latched onto here is Sanhua's got this ability where she buffs the normal attacks of the next character that you swap into. And Encore is a normal attack carry, which is great. My brain has deemed this to be a really fun thing. So, I'm completely obsessing over this sort of thing. And I really, really like it. And I really see the potential here for future characters and different synergies, even with older characters. So, Sanhua buffing normal attacks means that anyone who is a normal attack carry that comes out in the future will potentially, help her. And same thing with Encore. Anyone who buffs normal attacks other than Sanhua in the future will have synergy with her. And obviously they've got a million other things that are synergistic. I'm just saying, as an example. This is just something simple that that I've really enjoyed. So the teams are great and fun, and I really believe in like my future enjoyment in trying to build new teams for characters that I like. I've got this the Taoist mommy, Monk, and I don't have a good team for her right now, but I really like thinking about what kind of team I want to try to build for her kind of in the future, just with her stuff in mind. I will be glossing over most of the nerdy mechanical intricacies about the combat in this game. Just know that that's the sort of stuff that this game does have a lot of. And like my personal speed is probably going to be something like completely obsessing over the mechanics of my favorite characters and then just completely ignoring the characters that I don't like. There are some challenges in this game that are pretty hard. So if you want to beat things like the hologram bosses or the higher levels of the tower, which I haven't done much of the tower yet, so I can't really speak to that, but I'm assuming it's going to be as hard as the hollow bosses or something like that. If you want to beat those sorts of things, you're going to have to get pretty sweaty. So just keep that in mind. With that in mind, though, I do kind of just want to mention that nobody's level 90. We all have trash gear. We don't know how this game is gonna really play in the end game whenever we all have, built characters, and how level 90 well-built characters fare against the hardest level hollow bosses. Nobody can say. Right now, there are people that have built, or there are people who can beat the hardest hollow bosses with their level 60 or 70 characters, and that is impressive, and it's really difficult to do, but that is probably not representative. My suspicion is this game is going to be a lot easier later. Right now everyone is probably going to be talking a lot about how hard it is. Of course it's hard. We all have trash gear, so we can relax about some of that. Some other just random stuff that I like about the game would be the cost system, the flexibility here is really interesting. I like the idea of some like 11 out of 12 cost builds where there's more 3 cost items or 2 4 cost items. And there's like potential here in the future for like them increasing the cost or something, or decreasing it for certain game modes. Like there's a lot of flexibility that kind of comes with this cost system, which is cool. And I really like that. In this game, you can farm your relics all the time. So, you know, in Genshin, I don't mind just running around all day taking screenshots. I love that. But in this game, that activity can kind of be swapped with killing mobs to get your relics. And you can kill the bosses over and over again. So, and that's the 4 cost relics. So what ends up happening is, in this game, you can just farm for main stats. So I will eventually just have 30 crit damage on-set 4 cost items in my backpack at level 0 because I don't have materials to level them up, but it feels better to have all the crit damage main stat items and not be able to level them up than it does like in Genshin where I just don't have the crit damage main stats. This is a good thing. I absolutely adore the Black Shores gang, Alto, Encore, and Camellia. Camellia isn't in the game yet, and unfortunately, devastatingly, I have not pulled an Alto yet on my account, but he is on the next banner, so hopefully I get him then. Until then, all I've got is my love of Encore, which is absolutely enough. She is fantastic. She's really fun to play. It's great. I also love the skip button, unfortunately, and that is going to have to be my transition into my criticisms of the game. So, I apologize in advance for the whining, but complaining is fun, so I'm gonna do it anyway. So, of course, I love the skip button so much because the story in this game is absolutely horrendous. It's trash. I really wanted to stop playing the game until the Black Shores people came along. I don't want to harp on it too much, but these characters have absolutely no personality at all. They're all just overprotective, overworked, goody two-shoes, waifus, and husbandos. It's honestly disgusting. Jien has the personality of a sheet of plywood with a six-pack. Me being the cryo simp that I am, I was really interested in Sanhua when I started, but her main personality trait is trying to smile more because we asked her to. It's absolutely awful. I was pretty devastated when I finally got her and heard her idle voice lines for the first time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover. I might just latch onto her anyway to keep a constant reminder of what kind of game I'm playing. Sometimes I try to forget. You know, it really is a shame because a lot of these characters do look really cool. They're interesting. I'm terrified for Yin Lin's release.
I will make good use of this power and fight by your side. We'll confront evil wherever it lies.
Yes, ma'am.
I really hope that they don't somehow manage to turn that character into a goody two-shoes waifu. I might become physically ill if they do that. I'm not prepared. So, I want to bring Genshin Impact back into this conversation for just a minute. Story-wise, the only apples-to-apples comparison we can really make here is Genshin 1.0, Mondstadt, with Wuwa. And to be fair to Wuwa, Dvalin's storyline is not exactly peak fiction. In fact, I'd argue that most of Genshin's story is not that great. Really though, in my opinion, what my love for these types of games comes down to is my love of specific characters and engaging with them and their stories and gameplay and everything about specific characters. And in the end, I did find a couple of characters in Wuwa to be excited about. So I'm pretty willing to take a wait and see approach here. Like, I am excited for future characters. I see the potential. So, in conclusion, Wuwa has absolutely earned my attention. You know, I love playing my Sanhua Encore team. It makes my brain feel good. So I will not mind sticking around, you know, loving my RNG gotcha relic farming until the end game. I'll be interested to see what's going on. I want to get to the end game. I personally enjoy being open-minded and optimistic about these sorts of things. I think that as Genshin players, we can really see this as a win-win, you know? You may value different things than me, but for me, it's like, if Wuwa starts popping off and giving me tons of characters that I love, then it's a win, obviously. And if they don't, or they don't give you what you want in the future, then you still have Genshin. We still have Genshin. So it's not that big a deal, and it's a win-win for everybody. And I'm super excited to see where this game goes. You know, I am optimistic, and I want to see them succeed.